This video is brought to you by BG3D.com, specializing in 3D prints of original works inspired by fantasy and gaming culture. Submit your project online or let Bricktone handle the design and printing for you. Visit BG3D.com for more details. What's going on, YouTube? My name is Chris and welcome to Immodernation. The YouTube play button is an elusive, almost unobtainable reward presented to prestigious YouTube channels who have reached over 100,000 subscribers for the silver play button or 1 million for the gold play button. Now, I've been operating my YouTube channel for almost 2.5 years now, and I have to say, I am nowhere near close to 100,000 subscribers. That's something that I hope to change in the future, but thanks to your love and support, I am now very close to hitting 5,000 subscribers. But before we celebrate, let's get that YouTube play button. Now, the way I see it, there's two ways I could do it. One, I could buy a YouTube play button.
Okay, I gotta level with you guys here. That's the channel I built. That's why I'm here. The YouTube plaque. Okay, I'll buy it off you.
No, you just got a channel. Yeah, I'm on.
Or I could make one, I guess. There are many custom YouTube play buttons online, but I wanted to do something different. I wanted to 3D print my own YouTube play button, but I don't know anything about 3D printing, and I'm a modding channel. So I contacted my friend Bricktone, owner of BG3D.com, to help out. I had a chance to sit down and talk with Bricktone. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm Bricktone, and I got into 3D printing probably 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I've been a 3D artist pretty much my whole life. I got into animation and 3D when I was little, and I could always create animations on screen, but when the RepRap printers started to come out and you can make your own 3D printer, I immediately thought I could take these models out of the computer and then hold them in my hand. And that just fascinated the heck out of me. I got to work and built my own 3D printer based on a RepRap, and then ordered an Ultimaker kit and never looked back since. A lot of the board game industry inspires me. So games like Warhammer 40K, World of Warcraft, just other video games, the art style, the characters, the environment, putting my mind in this other world, and you have these little, you can make figures and props and then hold them in your hand. You're reading a book, you go through the adventure, and it's really great, but what happens is when you actually put your hands on something and you engage, a whole other part of your brain lights up and it becomes even more involved. So BG3D is Bricktone's gallery and 3D printing. I started it as kind of a portfolio site, and now I'm moving more into like more artwork and 3D printing, and want to inspire people and educate about 3D printing. So if you have any questions about 3D printing, you've never used a 3D printer before, you want to know how to use a 3D printer or anything like that, or want to see what you can do with a 3D printer, that's what Bricktone's gallery or BG3D.com is. And just use one of my printers if it's available. You just pay for the time that you use the printer, and I'll mail it to you then. I think it'll be really cool for people that are interested in 3D printing, want to get a 3D printer, but are intimidated by maybe the price point, the usability. I kept thinking, like, it's so easy to 3D print something. I want everybody to do this. I think everybody should be able to do this. I just want other people to create stuff and collaborate and have fun with this. If you want to make something, I would say don't worry about the machine yet. Just make it and pretend you have the machine. And then once you get the ability to get access to the one, and then just send the file over and get it done. A really good way to reach out to me is just get on Twitch and message me. Email as well, bricktone@bg3d.com.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much for
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you, Chris. So I'm going to grab an image off of just Google Images here, and I think this is well, let me see. I want to make sure that this is an exact representation of what this is. I don't think it is. I think these flare out a little bit more.
I'm glad I'm making my own.
Yeah, this is your thing.
So this is the gold one. This one's slightly bigger.
I'm not worried about size until we're ready to print, and then I'll scale it. But it's pretty close, so I think I'll use this one for reference. I'm going to just drag in my reference here.
Okay. Okay. Wow, you are moving really fast.
Get it done.
Okay, so talk to me. What are you doing with the cube?
I'm just gonna rough out the basic shape of this
Oh, okay.
rectangular button.
Got a nice contour to it.
I still think that, see how it kind of tapers off in the end of it here?
Yeah.
It shows that it's still a square.
Caesar is our helper today. Isn't that right, Caesar? It's so pretty. Dance party! We always rave while we print.
It's the lighting to show that we're heating up. So right now I'm trying to take this triangle and blend it and make a fillet around here, a nice smooth fillet, so that it blends right into that sphere.
So we're gonna take out a smaller version.
This is what you get to walk away with today.
You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those chiclets that you get in Mexico.
Oh yeah?
It looks like the gum.
I haven't, this is a big chiclet.
Yeah.
Super low quality, but for the sake of seeing the shape of it in your hand and not on the computer with the perspective of the computer cameras, this is great for, you know, to know that you're on the right track. So a quick 10-minute print, I think that looks pretty good.
24 hours later.
So we're gonna check on Bricktone, see what he's up to. Hey, Bricktone! What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Great. So, is it done?
We got it right here.
Yeah?
Fresh out of the oven, actually.
Cool. Wow. Look at that. Check that out. Man, that is just...
So yeah, I printed really low layer height. It's 50 microns, but you can still see it in this low profile.
Uh-huh.
All you gotta do is hit it with some light sanding, and it'll polish up perfectly.
Okay.
And on the other side, underside, we had a little bit of overhangs.
Oh yeah, I see the
So
rough marks.
That's easily sandable too. You can hit that with some rough sandpaper in the beginning, and then finish polishing off with smaller grit sandpaper, like 1000 grit, and it'll come out glass like the bottom there. So.
Wow, yeah, it's so smooth. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So here it is. This is the completed YouTube play button. Now I have an idea for this. What I want to do is I want to wrap it in carbon fiber vinyl. This is the same vinyl that I used to wrap the Elgato HD60 capture card, and I've wrapped vinyl around some other things, including this Xbox One controller. Now before we wrap... No. Okay. We need to do a bit of finishing. And what does that mean? That means that we need to sand down these print lines before we wrap it in the carbon fiber vinyl. Otherwise, we run the risk of these lines appearing from the inside. Now, I don't know anything about sanding PETG, so I found this excellent YouTube guide online, which I'm going to link to in the video description below. And it's going to tell you exactly how to sand it. So in the guide, he actually recommends 200 and 500 grit sandpaper. Now, I only had 180 and 600. Close enough. And I dipped the sandpaper in the water and I wet sanded it until it had a nice smooth finish. I then moved to 600 grit sandpaper and began the process again until it was even smoother. Now at this point I felt it was good to stop here. I don't need to move to a higher grit sandpaper because I'm not polishing it. I'm planning to wrap it in vinyl. Now if you wish to polish it out so that it's nice and smooth, you might want to move to a higher grit sandpaper. So my next objective is going to be to sand down the play button before I wrap it in carbon fiber vinyl. Now Bricktone was nice enough to make me 2 YouTube play buttons, so I have an extra just in case something goes wrong. We're going to start with 180 grit sandpaper. I'm going to go ahead and cut out just a small square. We don't need a whole lot of it. I almost forgot, we need to actually be wet sanding this, so make sure you have a bowl of water handy. You could dip the sandpaper in, make sure the sandpaper is wet, and just continue making those small motions. There's no need to hurry, this is going to take a while. And when you're done, make sure you dunk it a few times in the water, and now it should be nice and smooth. You shouldn't really be able to feel the lines, you'll still be able to see them. Also, your 180 grit sandpaper is going to look like a used banana leaf. So let's get rid of that. Now we're moving up to 600 grit sandpaper and repeating the process all over again. Now if you want, you can continue sanding on a much higher sandpaper, but me, I don't care what it looks like on the outside. I just need it to be smooth when I wrap it in vinyl. And now I'm gonna bring out the carbon fiber vinyl. This one is made by Vivid. No, not that Vivid, you perverts. This Vivid. What I like about it is it's got a nice shiny gloss to it, and you can find it on Amazon for not too much money. Links in the video description below. So I cut a small rectangular piece just larger than the size of the play button. I took the backing off and I'm placing it now in the middle of the play button, and you're gonna wanna use some hard piece of plastic to smooth down the edges, starting from the middle, working out. I happen to have a guitar pick with me, so that's what I went with, but if you have like a credit card or I don't know, something else, plastic razor blade. You don't want to scrape it, but use your judgment on this one. Now in order to heat the edges, I'm going to be using this Wagner heat gun on low setting. Make sure you keep it moving so that you don't melt the vinyl. You just want to heat it up enough so that it'll begin to stretch, especially on the sides and corners, and you can pull the corners evenly so that it makes a nice, smooth, rounded edge. So I've got the entire play button wrapped, but I still want to fill the middle with the carbon fiber, so I'm using the heat gun to heat it and press it down. Unfortunately, you're going to see what happens when you put too much heat onto vinyl. So when things got a little bit too hot, well, it got a chub. Don't worry, this happens to a lot of guys. So after I put the white vinyl in the middle, I cut it back with the X-Acto knife to give it a clean edge, and I think it looks great. Now once the vinyl is cooled down and it's stretched around the corners, you can use an X-Acto knife to cut off the excess. Or I guess you could just use your teeth. I'm just kidding. Don't use your teeth, please. Your dentist will thank you. So here it is. This is the finished play button. As you can see here, I added some white vinyl to the inner triangle. I decided to use the X-Acto knife to cut out the triangular portion and add white vinyl in its place. You can call it a last-minute design change. Okay, so I guess this wasn't really a guide. This was more what I did to create a 3D play button. Special thanks to Bricktone at bg3d.com. Bricktone, thank you so much. Without your help, this video would not have been possible. Make sure you guys all go check out bg3d.com for all your 3D printing needs. He'll be more than happy to help you out with any projects that you're working on, or he'll be happy to print it himself. Just send him an email or shoot him a message on his website and make it happen. All right, well, that's it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, where I put this thing into a shadow box. Are you serious? Did you really think that this was it? I mean, what would a Modernation mod project be without LED strip lighting? That's just inconceivable. The best part about this project actually is that I didn't have to wait for a tech company to go under so that I could buy their play button at auction for insane prices. What, too soon? Thank you so much for checking out this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you slap that like button below and share the video. And while you're at it, why not join the Modern Nation and get subscribed by clicking on that subscribe button below. And hey, when you do, don't forget to click on the bell icon inside the button to be notified the moment that I release new videos. If you have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them for me in the comment section below, or why not hit me up on social media? I'd love to hear from you guys. And when you buy products from Amazon, consider using the affiliate links in the video description below. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see ya!